Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to today's Powerboost. Now we live in a time and it's become a little bit of a culture of quick fixes. Everything has to happen fast. We want to get everything very quickly and we want very quick solutions. We want quick answers. So in spirituality, where we actually dive very deep and look at root causes, so there are more or less no real quick fix and quick solutions or one solution for everything. On the other hand, there are, and I want to share with you this afternoon a little bit about one of those methods. And we call it give blessings and receive blessings, give happiness and receive happiness. But the key word here is definitively giving. And when we think of giving, anytime you want to give something intentionally, you want to do it with love, you want to do it with happiness. There are good feelings, pure feelings, of course, right? And the giving is always for the benefit, for the betterness, for the benefit of the other one. And especially in relational issues, any kind of relationship, relationship between two people, but could be even relationship with animals, even with nature. Depends on our beliefs and perceptions, but especially among human beings, of course. There are many times experiences that don't make us very happy. And without going too much into all of these details, what would be a way to deal with it in a very healthy and very beneficial way? Beneficial for both sides, for the one who is giving, but also for the receiving side. One thing we don't really learn in our lives is that we are also responsible what we take into our hearts. Religious upbringing many times teaches us do good, be good, do good. But we don't hear that much about also take good, take blessings, receive blessings, take happiness, even in situations when there is no happiness, no respect, no friendliness, no kindness expressed. Another way to think about it is do not take sorrow. So if anyone says unkind words to me, if anyone has bad feelings for me, now could be, for example, someone has some desires and they are so driven by their desires in relation to the other person. So they become very demanding. They start to expect, they start to demand. They become even invasive in many different ways. Become very forceful just in order to have their own needs, their own desires fulfilled. And then people go through different situations. Their hearts are not clean. Their hearts are not happy. So they project outwardly. We also do it at times. And we express energies. We have behaviors that do not bring happiness to other people. When I have to face something like that, we typically take things very personal. We get emotionally affected. We have a lot of unnecessary, wasteful, negative thoughts about the other person. and we can create a rivalry that goes on for years. We keep things in our hearts for years about what someone did and that. But the thing is, and it was in a way revolutionary to me on my spiritual journey as I started to discover more and more in terms of what is really my responsibility and what are not my responsibilities. I'm not responsible what someone does, but I'm certainly responsible for my own doing, expressing at any level, whether it's at the level of thoughts or even very physically. And having said this, if I am responsible for my own self, my own feelings, my own thoughts, the thoughts that I create in my mind, I am responsible for that. The feelings I carry in my heart, I'm responsible for that. So that means even when people express unpleasant behaviors, words, even vibrations, thoughts towards someone, towards me, then one is to understand that I must not take it personal. I must not take it into my heart, because if it goes in my heart, it will be there and create a lot of mess for me, a lot of pain. So, of course, the question now is how not to take it in my heart. It starts with that understanding that I'm sharing here, which is, as you can tell, probably very close to my own heart. And secondly, what we also need to understand, if I don't take things into my heart, I still have to stay connected to myself. But I have to connect to myself in a way that I'm connecting to my inner being, my own inner innate self-worth, self-value. And that's where the very subtle, the spiritual aspect is coming in very much, where I understand that my persona is not so much this physical body or anything related to the body, but there's a being, a subtle being of light residing behind the forehead. And that life force, this soul, the soul, I carry that persona, the characteristics of the personality. And I have shaped my own personality, and I can also change my own personality. But the key here is, if I connect to myself as this subtle being of light, as this spiritual being, innately, I carry a worth, a value, and that self-worth, that self-value is connected to my identity of who I am spiritually. So in my spiritual roots, original blueprint, I, as a being, I have complete self-value and self-worth. And of course, I respect myself. And these are independent of the physical body. We can take our esteem ultimately from what we are doing, from what we acquire, from what we have. But what I'm trying to relate here, that every living being, living human soul has already a worth, a value, which is actually the highest value within their own self, without having anything, without being dependent on anything physically. So that's also the place that we touch base with when we meditate. We connect to our highest potential. We connect to our spiritual blueprint, which is of goodness. And so instead of taking things personally and harming myself by now giving more value what someone is saying to me or how someone is looking at me, their vision of me can be very different from the vision I have for my own self. And so I have to be clear what is good and healthy for me and what is not. And if someone is saying certain things, is it okay? You don't have control over that. Have good wishes for them by first going within quickly and reaffirm who you truly are. And in this way, I'm connecting to my inner dignity, to my innate self-value and self-worth that allows me to stay in my inner dignity without having to hurt me. Because if I am in that connected to my true self, to my to my value and self-worth, I maintain my self-respect, and that keeps me in my dignity. I do not cause harm to myself. And at the same time, by not harming myself, by not taking things personally and not taking things into my heart that are not healthy for me, just by doing that, I'm actually giving blessing to the other one who may have some bad intentions, some bad thoughts, some, thoughts could be thoughts of jealousy, envy, dislike, or they could have just very strong desires and try to influence you in different ways. No, I don't have to go there. I don't have to be the victim of anyone or anything, not even of anyone's bad feelings. I have a better thing to do. I go connect to that heaven within me. We need to understand that, and then we need to practice it. It might be a little bit challenging because it goes against what we used to do, but it is possible and you will enjoy it. So we'll do a meditation now. So we'll sit comfortably and consciously, intentionally, for a few moments, bring the focus of your attention back to your inner world. It is like I turn the mind on its own self. I turn my mind within instead of looking through these eyes, the mind absorbing through the sense organs. I make the mind turn towards the invisible, towards the world of light, a reality, a truth that always exists. And one of those eternal truths is that I am a being of beautiful light, spiritual light, very subtle, not visible to these physical eyes. Like God, the Supreme Being is invisible to these physical eyes. I am also invisible to the physical eyes. But I exist. Not only that I am a subtle being of light, but I carry everything I need already within me. And one of the biggest treasures I carry within me is peace. Foremost, I am a clean, pure being of light, pure, unpolluted, original, natural. I am a benevolent being, a being of peace. I surely am a being of peace, a being of love, a being of joy. And I have amazing qualities, amazing abilities, the ability to think, the ability to feel, the ability to discern between what is good for me and what is not healthy for me. Being stable and aware of my innate goodness, aware of myself as a being of peace, a being of light, that has become influenced, that has become weak, that has become polluted in one or another way. But my original self, my original blueprint is completely clean. I am the embodiment of peace. This is how I choose to relate, to see and relate to myself in order to emerge this quality and to make it permanent in my life, constant. And as I stabilize myself in this awareness, in that pure vision that I uphold for myself, there is no reason why I would take any lower vision or expression towards me in my heart. For different reasons, people do and say different things. But it is up to me to realize, to understand and be aware that I have a choice moment by moment. And my choice is always to give blessings, give happiness, have good wishes. Someone who speaks ill words or has negative feelings needs help, needs support. Why would I become the victim of that? I stay in my power by upholding, reminding myself of my inner dignity, my purity of heart, and my innate value that is connected to the purity of my being, purity in my heart. And I have blessings of good wishes, of pure thoughts for the other one. Life is to give peace, love, happiness, respect, have trust, be honest. be kind, have compassion. Any of these qualities will strengthen my inner value, worth, my esteem, my power. When I have inner power, I'm able to extend my inner goodness even towards those who do not give something that is good. But I have good wishes, blessings in my heart, in my thoughts, in my feelings, and in my words for everyone. Om Shanti.